Yeah, so well, maybe let me start with a long-term framework and then some short-term challenges. In the long-term framework, financial innovation writ large, if properly democratized, actually we believe can be an enabling platform unlike any other in terms of bringing prosperity across the planet, including to the world's very poorest people. And that is particularly through the expansion of digital payment systems. One of the silver linings of the pandemic was actually a big expansion of digital payment systems, often government-to-person digital payment systems, and those which bring people in, whether they're smallholder farmers across Africa or South Asia, whether they're new banking systems or others across many of those parts of the world. But what you need is a combined framework, and some of these short-term lessons are you need a regulatory framework which is robust and actually helps build trust within the community. You need, and this is something that may be a little bit more up for debate, but by some of my co-panelists, but we think really fully interoperable digital payment systems at the national and global level, because that's actually the platform, whether you're a small trader or a large trader, that becomes a huge public good. And we actually, as the Gates Foundation, invest in an initiative called Motor Loop, which actually tries to provide some of those interoperable digital trading platforms as a public good. And that you need then functional other digital tools like digital identity and related things which can all come in. Now, we all know those. We're aware of them. Most of us will use them. But actually, the potential to bring those down into the many billions of people across the planet is very high. It's probably the highest leverage intervention we have. And so over a 3, 5, 10-year period, we're incredibly optimistic about that potential to actually drive innovation and development. But in the short term, what we're also facing, and it was in the WEF opening report and a number of the other gloomy reports coming from the IMF and the World Bank and others, is a short to medium term kind of fiscal crisis that is facing 1/3 of the world is likely to be in recession in the coming year. Many, again, of the lower and lower middle income countries don't have the fiscal and other firepower to do enough meeting debt crises. And there've been a form of innovation of different kinds of debt products, including rather than simply having multilateral debt products, there's been a lot of things from private actors actually entering frontier markets and running things with tools like including ETFs and related issues, but also new entrants, particularly China, coming in at significant scale. And what that led to, it helped lead to a lot of very positive momentum. At a time of crisis now, it's very complicated to reset and to try and put liquidity back into the system. And so in countries, for example, just one country, Zambia, which recently had a debt restructuring arrangement, which was one that China and others get. There were 17 different Chinese entities which turned out to be lending to them, who are also negotiating with traditional financial providers from New York who want their share of us when you're doing a debt negotiation. And so you need some innovation at that as well. And that will require some fundamental innovation, which is on the global agenda right now in the G20, the G7, about can you actually provide some new tools to unlock multilateral development finance. And so innovation in the multilateral space, we've seen some of it in the IMF's special drawing rights. We need some of it in multilateral development banks like the World Bank to actually potentially expand their lending portfolio and use their AAA credit rating. And so that combination of dealing with the short-term crisis, because it is a very real acute crisis that is affecting literally billions of people across the planet, but then trying to take the promise as you deal with these risks and issues, and we've got the warning signs that we've seen from the sort of crypto and blockchain and related issues that you raised, but knowing that there is still a very positive long-term trajectory which can actually be transformative for the planet.